Now, welcome to our review and discussion of episode 2 of season 2 of Loki, the episode called Breaking Brad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what did you think of Breaking Brad?
I once again thought they're doing a pretty good job here in Loki season 2. They aren't afraid of taking the time to slow down when they need to, and yet this was still riveting and interesting.
Yeah, there's good slow and bad slow. Like, good slow is when the characters, you're interested enough to sit there and watch them talk for 5 minutes on end, right?
Right.
That's a good kind of slow, where you're getting not only good information about what's going on, but characterization, right? That's
Absolutely.
important. And I thought this did a really good job of reiterating who Loki is exactly, a reminder of some of his past deeds. And you're kind of left wondering if he's going to break and do something
Horrible,
mischievous or something worse, yes.
But I think that was probably my favorite scenes in the entire episode, were the ones where they were breaking Brad.
Yeah.
The ones where first he's pushing him, making him a reminder of what a horrible person he is. And then when it turns around and Loki uses that to his advantage, to go, you know what? You're right. I am horrible. And know what I'm going to do to you? Something horrible. Once again, Tom Hiddleston's acting, out of the park.
Oh, and Wilson as well.
Phenomenal.
Like they're a good duo.
Oh,
like,
they're
those
perfect,
two are,
those
are
two.
really
They have
good together, yes.
Great on-screen chemistry.
Who needs Chris Helmsworth's Thor?
I mean, I thought he had good chemistry, those two. But there's something special. Maybe Tom Hiddleston is just really good at matching people. Maybe he's one of those people who's really good at like melding with a lot of people to help bring out the best in his co-star.
Well, yeah. Well, Owen Wilson, I think, is talented as well. But I know what you're saying. He's one of those guys who's very adaptable. Seems like we've seen him in many different things, and he's been good in, I think, damn near everything I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, I like every time they go to Earth and they get to showcase some of Loki's powers again.
That was cool. It was nice.
A human. He is the god of mischief.
Yeah, I think they needed him to have a moment, and they kind of play it off as, oh, you're just kind of showing off. But no, it's again, there were those reminders of who Loki is and what he's all about in this episode, which is the magic, and he even kind of fools Owen Wilson, Mobius. Yes, no, that was good. That was a nice touch.
I really appreciated the fact that once again the intelligence of Loki, when the three are fading, showing that there's only one real one. Of course, he's not the one in the center. The one in the center is the obvious choice.
Yeah, that's what everybody would probably think. You're kind of split off to your two sides, your illusions. Yeah. No, and I like their tactics. I kind of figured Mobius was in on it, that it was probably even his idea with the whole.
Well, why would the cell lock from the inside?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, but well done. Like, and I don't know the actor who plays Brad, but he worked well with these two as well. Really, I mean, really just good stuff here. Just enjoyable to watch, even if it doesn't always make a ton of sense. I talked about it in the last review. If you stop and think about some of the things going on in this and the branching timelines and all that, it doesn't hold up to intense scrutiny per se. Because
it's hard to showcase the concept they're doing. Other than by showing one line with splitting branches.
Yeah, that's kind of, I don't want to say the problem, but it's like, because that is, I mean, she said billions of people. In theory, that should be just an incalculable number of people who are dying, essentially. So.
But I like the way the TVA has evolved, how they've changed. Of course, you have the one guy who's like, no, we're going to put the timeline back the way it's supposed to be. This is too much. It's bad. And then you have, Team New TVA, where they realize that they have lives on the timeline, that people have lives.
Yeah,
that you can't just prune it and stop all of those people's lives from going on, because, for one, they didn't deserve it. They got pushed into a new timeline because a variant changed time.
Yeah.
And they all bent kind of along with it. They bent in this timeline, and there's a new version of themselves on it. They didn't do anything wrong.
No.
Only whoever changed,
nobody's like
to
intentionally
steer them away from the timeline.
Yeah, no one isn't. Even still, no one. I mean, not no one, but most are not intentionally steering away from the sacred timeline.
Right. Like, I think that Sylvie kept asking in season 1, "What was my crime? What did I do? Why did you come and take me?" Well, watching that scene when they came to take her, she's a little girl.
Yeah, there was.
I think this might be like the literal moment she was about to hit puberty.
Yeah.
Which would then make her, of course, different than a boy in enough way that she would act different.
Well, yeah, boys are gonna forced to be, or girls, I should say, more are going to be forced to
biologically
different choices.
I literally think that's what happened right
deal
then
with different things, shall we say, to not get graphic here.
So by being the chaos element, the Loki-born female, the moment that female became something that was enough to change the timeline, there she goes.
Yeah.
It wasn't her fault.
No. And it is interesting to see the change in them because they have now realized that they were variants and the timelines they came from were pruned. So, I mean, in theory, they keep talking about, do you want to know who you were on the sacred timeline and all that? Well, in a way, like, they don't exactly, those aren't their lives even.
No, because they came off of that line. Yeah. Yes, they could find out who they were supposed
originally,
to be.
Kind of, or
who they originally
to be,
are.
Quote unquote, yeah.
The life up to the point where they made the change into becoming a variant. They could see what their life was supposed to be, but they can't take that spot back because their timelines are gone.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't go back to the sacred timeline.
That's why Brad invented his own identity.
Yes.
Somewhere, some other person is watching that movie and going, that guy looks just like me. You know, as they say, everyone has a doppelganger, right?
Well, as long as he's still alive on the sacred timeline, too. For all we know, like, what deviated him off was he was supposed to die and didn't, and that created a branch, and they plucked him from that branch.
Well, and if he picked a point in time where he was already dead or wasn't born yet.
Yeah, we have no idea if he, that was 1977. He's a fairly young guy. He wouldn't necessarily even be born yet if he was kind of paralleling our timeline right now, so.
Yeah, we have no idea when exactly on the line he was.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know what the plot is between Miss Minutes and Renslayer.
Yeah,
I know from the trailer we're going to see a young Kang.
Yeah,
a Kang who probably is about to learn the stuff that lets you breach time.
Yeah, the one complaint or issue I've had so far is I really don't understand like the overarching plot at all right now. It's okay because, like I said, it's been slower, but it's been dealing with the characters are good. I'm intrigued by everything, but I'm gonna need something here soon to really fully get me on board.
Right. The only thing he knew is we have to find Sylvie because he saw the future. The TVA was destroyed, and Sylvie found him.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, so
we now think that's the real Sylvie because you kind of threw out the idea maybe we would see variants, but now it seems like at least Loki believes that's his. "Quote-unquote," his Sylvie.
And it might be. I mean, that might be the only female variant of Loki that exists. Just like there might only be one alligator Loki that existed.
Let's hope so.
Again, Ouroboros, he's still shining. Yeah. I really have been enjoying his character. He's got that right quirk that makes him perfect for the role he's in.
Yes.
He makes the role or the role made him.
Both.
Both.
Sometimes you're just perfectly suited.
Right.
And he is perfectly suited for what they're going for, yeah.
But we do need to, as you said, we need to find more of the solidified plot of the season. All we know is that the timelines are out of control. And we're kind of, if you didn't remember last season and the recap wasn't enough for you, there's a lot of information that you really needed to know coming into season 2.
Yeah, it paid off for us to rewatch season 1 before this because I would have forgotten a lot of this stuff or just not been as attuned to some of the things that are going on.
And it's crazy that, what's her name, Doc's crew, whatever, that she went out and they pruned all those lines. Aren't they just going to reform without someone there to keep pruning?
Yeah.
Because that's what the TVA was dealing with throughout all of time anyway?
Yeah, that kind of deals with one of my issues. Like, I don't understand what her obsession is with pruning the timelines, if they're just going to...
And is she doing the right thing?
Maybe she's
because we were worried about the Kang variants.
Yeah.
As long as she keeps pruning, the variants won't happen.
Yeah.
Just frightening in its own way.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this will set up Kang because I'm imagining this is going to be a big setup for.
It should be.
Yeah.
Even though I think they may be recasting Kang in the future.
Well, I haven't kept up with what's going on there, so I'm not going to comment on that either way. But either way, we know Kang is, whether he's recasted or not, he's going to be the new villain, right, or the new big baddie.
I think Renslayer's looking for the original Kang, the
whoever she worked with. Yeah. Well, we don't even know that that's who she worked with.
We know she worked with one version of him.
Yeah, but we don't know that was the version He Who Remains. Could
she be just trying to find a version of him to put back into power?
Maybe.
A version of him that maybe is a little more pliable? Because she needs to put somebody else on his throne, quote unquote.
Yeah, to keep designing the future, essentially.
And stopping other hymns from showing up.
Yeah.
And causing chaos. I mean, the one from Ant-Man, that version of Kang the Conqueror there, we would not want in charge of time.
No, he was bad.
He was bad. He had a whole council of Kangs.
Yes.
Which makes you wonder, did then this show fail? Like, how does that relate to this?
That's, like I'm saying, like, we're 2 episodes in and I don't feel like I really have any idea what's going on quite yet. Which is okay.
It's okay because it's been a good ride.
I'll give you some time. I'll give you some time because it's, like I said, the ride has been good. You've been giving us little hints and clues, but I think episode 3 especially with this being 6 episodes. It really needs to give us something to sink our teeth into.
And what's the deal with the pies? I talked to you about that. It's because we know that Loki's like green. Sylvie's already got a green truck. Even in the first season. Well, how do you know that alligator's a Loki? Well, he's green, isn't he?
Yeah, which was a joke, but maybe not a joke you're kind of thinking here?
Well, I was thinking it was strange that the pie room was all green, and then every pie, if you look in those little doors, they're all green key lime pies. I just thought that was coincidental. Why would you only have green pie in a green room in the TVA? It makes me wonder if somehow a Loki, maybe this one or another Loki, could have perhaps influenced the creation of the TVA. Could our Loki be involved in the creation of the TVA, but he doesn't know it yet because it's his future, though it's their past?
Yeah. I think that would be a fun twist.
I think it very well could be a fun twist, and I hope we do see something like that. I'd like to see Loki or Sylvie or any Loki involved with the creation of the TVA, which is kind of hilarious because, again, be his future, but their past.
Yes. All right, so we're both still on board, still enjoying it, but I think we both want something to happen, so that's all we got for you this time. Now it's your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of this second episode of Season 2 of Loki. Are you still on board, or are you wandering off a bit already? Whatever the case may be, leave those comments below. Let's talk some Marvel, and until next time, thanks for watching.